today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to show you how to make a teepee. 25 years ago, my wife asked me if we should buy something called a Cheyenne Lodge. She found it in the Mayo Vox, these want ads for Mayo Clinic. I go, what's a Cheyenne Lodge? Is it a teepee? She goes, I don't know. We called up this gentleman. He lived up in the hills in Lake City. We went and visited him, and there it was. I go, boy, that's a nice looking teepee. And right away he admonished us. That's not a teepee. That is a Cheyenne Lodge. I learned that a lodge is much bigger than a regular teepee. That there is multiple sizes of these tents. This gentleman was Italian. He had a little bit darker skin. And he told us the stories of he'd go around to these rendezvous and set up these tents and make up stories and sell trinkets. And people believed him. I thought, wow. And his teepee was showing somewhere, or his lodge was showing somewhere, and he sold it to us for $300. I had never set anything up. I had to kind of put this picture in my mind as we took it down and reverse engineered that when I got home. And so today, I'd like to show you a little bit on how to set up a teepee. So you would start out with what's called as the tripod, and the first knot you would make is called a clove hitch, and then I followed it up with 2 half hitches. Now, a teepee door always, oh boy, I got it too tight. There. The teepee door always faces east. And my lodge actually my lodge poles are 25 to 26 feet long. So if you can imagine something that tall, and it's actually set up so that you can set it up yourself, and we'll see. So if you're imagining 25 feet long, you would stand back, dig the poles in, and then you would raise it up. Now this first single pole always goes towards the door, and then you split the 2 back poles, and this is called the headdress. So once again, this is the first door pole. As I've learned more and more about the teepee and the lodges, it's just remarkable how simple and how ingenious these are. So each pole is actually named. The Native Americans were very spiritual. And I'll give you the names of each one for just a bit. This would be the other door pole. Now this is a 15-pole teepee, where my lodge is actually 18. Oops. So you would start out with 4, and then I'll come over to the other side, another 4. Has anyone ever been inside of a teepee before? Once you get inside, it's very spiritual because right away you're drawn up to the sky. Now, when I first set up my teepee, I didn't do it quite right, and there was a strong wind. And one time I got that phone call, the phone call you never want to get. The neighbor says, "Yeah, Burns, your tent blew down." And then after that, my nickname on the point was Big Wind Burns. They didn't even know I was a Toastmaster. So one of the reasons we really took interest in these tents is because of the culture where I live. So Tepee Point is where I live down in Wabasha, and that translates land of many teepees. So there was a fur trader that came and visited the area. And the first thing he noticed was this huge encampment. He called it a grand encampment of all these teepees. And then he learned later that the translation of land of many teepees was Tepee. The story goes that he would look across this point and all he saw was teepees. So we're the only ones in our point that have a teepee. So the last pole, you strap the canvas on the top, and then once again, it's 25 feet in the air. You bring it up, and then you unlace it. You spread it around, and then there's lacing up here that you put together. Now, I use a ladder to get up there, but they have another pole that you're supposed to lash to that, and then stand, and then you lace everything up. Now, once everything is done here, this is always fun with the kids because you go round and round and you tighten up top. Typically, I'm gonna knock it down, aren't I? There. Typically, I have my kids help me, and they go round and round. Get everything tight. And then it's tied down to the center, which actually gives it strength. My teepee is held up to 70-mile-an-hour winds now that I'm better at setting it up. One time we had this huge rainstorm. I had a get-together, and we fit 20 people and 1 keg of beer in my teepee. If you ever have an opportunity to get a teepee, or this fall, there's going to be an invite, and it'll be much bigger than this. I'll have you all down, and you can have a cold beverage and enjoy me in my teepee. Madam Toastmaster.